All right, good morning, everybody. January 12th already, halfway through the month. Can't believe it. Here we go. So it's been kind of, like I was saying, a little bit busy in this last week or so. Everybody seems to be getting their new year started off right. So who's got good news to share?
Well, Gail and I are going to close a buyer sale that we've had going since last year. We've been looking for these clients, and it's closing today for probably, what is it, Gail, 8 months, 9 months?
Yeah, at least.
Longer.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
really.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yep.
You made a whole $1 or 50 cents an hour.
Probably.
Right. Yeah, if we made that.
That's what we figure. And but it's closing today, so hallelujah.
That's great. Is this your client that was a little difficult?
Oh no, actually, it's her father.
Oh, okay, good. Awesome.
Yeah. So we
That's
got.
great.
I think the daughter. We might be moving forward without the daughter behind us because she's just way too hard to deal with. So, but anyway,
Yeah.
we got this one done, and so it's a good deal, and we're very grateful that it's over.
That's good. And, we don't have to work with people that don't want to work with us.
Right.
We get to choose our clients. I think
Thank
that's a
goodness.
really important thing, that we kind of decide, hey, you're being a jerk to me. I don't have to take this. I'm not that desperate. Right. What
Well,
other
that's-
good news?
Yeah.
Rana?
Kelly and I got weatherway into escrow yesterday for 20,000 over asking.
20,000.
And it's all cash, which is even great with a 14-day close.
Oh my gosh. Very nice. And so I know you guys had a really successful open house. So tell everybody, how many people did you have come through?
On Saturday, we had 23 families come through. And at the end of Sunday evening, going into Monday, we had over 8 offers, 3 of them being all cash and the rest of them being really great offers over asking.
Oh my
A
gosh.
tad bit, yeah. So it was great.
Fastest way to a paycheck, get a listing. And how many buyers were unattached that came through, would you say?
Maybe 3 total.
3?
Yeah. maybe
So 3
total, so,
possibilities.
yeah,
Nice. Congratulations.
that's great.
That's going to be a fast one.
And
All
how
right.
long was that? That just came off of coming soon, didn't it?
Yes.
Friday.
Friday.
Wow.
Friday in escrow yesterday.
Yeah.
3 days on the market.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. All right. Any other good news out there you guys want to share? Had to follow up to that. You closed one. Yay.
Yesterday.
Nice. Is that Linda out there?
Yep.
Yeah. I changed my view. So as you can see in the screen, because when I record this and then I watch it back, it's hard to watch the teeny tiny little squares. So I changed the view. Anyway, that's great. Yay, Linda. Anybody else? All right, so I'm going to move on. Yesterday was the last day of our holiday listing contest. And we didn't have a lot of people playing, but this last week, of course, we did have a few people play. We did get 2 people who got listings. So $50 for those listings. Woohoo! I'll give them to you next week because I have to get a check cut. So way to go for you guys. But for the weekly winners, let's talk about the weekly winners. So Creighton and Hayes team, first place winners for the week. Pearson Ritter team, second place for the week, and Marilou and Alvin, third place for the week. So the prizes are still the same. Hard copy listing, hard bound listing presentation, 5 copies of the soft bound like this one that's sitting on Donna's desk, or a marketing kit from the marketing department, which I know Donna just used. What did you think?
I liked it. And I liked the different views, which made me change my MLS to one of the postcards, the aerial view, which has a picture of the house from the aerial view. But I figured when it's $3.4 million and you have a picture of a house,
You don't see it.
It wasn't a $3.4 million home.
Right.
So the aerial view gave more aspect, which I wouldn't have thought of had I not cut those listing cards.
Right. And
So
how
it was-
easy, just like,
Yeah.
here, build it. And then it came back. And once she said yes, he's like, okay, here's all the files. So
Yeah, and so
like-
I've already started using them, and I'm gonna do postcards. We laid out postcards and flyer, 2 media, JPEG type things and stuff, so.
And so for the grand prize winners for the entire 6 weeks, the first place grand prize winner is Donna with 3,565 points. Wow. And I got to say, I noticed that once you guys had a listing, it was like easy because like we got to market it. We got to call
Right.
people. We got to text people. Second place winners, Creighton and Hayes team, 1,287 points. And third place, Marilou and Alvin at 543 points. So you guys all did a fantastic job. The prizes, our first prize is a $200 gift certificate to Mark Full. So that will
Perfect in time for
just
my
in time.
business card. Then I need some more business cards.
business
so,
cards and
yeah.
sending out those postcards and things
Right.
like that. And second place is a 1-month ad to AdWorks. You can use any way you want. So that will be yours. And then third place is a choice, a $55 marketing credit for our marketing department, or the video book that has AdWorks, and it has stuff about Apex on it, a couple of different marketing videos that you could use for your listing presentation. So Marilou and Alvin, you could tell me which one you guys decide when I see you next, or you can email me. But congratulations, you guys. That was really, I know it was a tough time of the year to start that, but I'm glad that you played along. So that makes me feel good. All right, so let's talk about who has any new listings coming soon, or buyers, wants, needs, etc. So I know we had a listing coming soon, but it was, oh, it's on the board actually already. Oh, well, nobody's got a new listing. How about buyers? Anybody got buyers, wants, and needs? And we have a listing. Ryan Kernick has his house for sale in Fallbrook right now. It's on coming soon, you guys. He's not on the call. So
Gail and I have a new listing. And
cool, tell us.
it'll be up probably, we're signing all the papers tomorrow. It's in the wine country. We've been working on these people for over a year. And they finally found a house in Scottsdale that they're in escrow on. And we are looking to do our photographs and everything. It's going to be incoming soon as of Friday. And we need to get somebody who does a really nice Matterport tour. It's a big house. It's on almost 5 acres. It has the main house, a guest house, a barn, a tack room, beautiful views, infinity pool. It's a gorgeous home. It's going to be at 2.9 million. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's a big house, and it's a beautiful, beautiful property. So if anybody has any leads for a really good Matterport tour, we're looking for that right now. We're talking to a couple people because we've not done that before, but something that we could definitely use on this type of a listing. So
Absolutely. And I used to know one. I can't rack my brain to think of who it was, because at Matterport, when it first came out, was so hot.
Right.
And it was like they came to every office and pitched their, or at least one photographer came and pitched their wares, if you will. But gosh, it's been so long, and it kind of fell out of like the flavor of the month, if you will. So
Right.
if I hear anything, I'll let you know. I feel like some,
Well, it's
normal
an-
decent photographers have the camera.
yeah, well, we have a photographer we use that we're waiting to get a response back from him. And there was a gal in Lake Elsinore who did a great Matterport tour. And she was actually in the tour at the beginning. And so I might call Carol Roundsley and talk to her. But yeah, no, we're excited. It's been a long time coming. And so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the market is still strong enough that we can get this sold.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll talk about numbers here in a second. So for those of you who don't know what Matterport Tour is, so it's a camera that basically does a 360-degree view, and then they piece all the views into one walkthrough, kind of like, you know, Adam was doing those for a little while.
Right.
He had a camera, but then it has what they call a dollhouse view, where you can like zoom out from the layout of the house and kind of just pick a room and it will zoom into that room, and then you could start walking through the house from there. That's really the only difference from what Adam was doing, where he was doing the walkthrough, is that dollhouse, what they call the dollhouse view. And also with the Matterport, you can actually measure the rooms with that system. So it's a really cool, and it's specifically, you know, you got $1 million plus listing, you definitely have to have that kind of photography. So way to go. All right, anybody else? Buyer or seller?
I have a buyer. They're just closed. They want to buy in Temecula or Murrieta. They're cash. They're doing a 1031 exchange, so kind of they're willing to close early. They want a single story, preferably with a pool, probably up to about 800,000. So if anybody knows of anything or has anything coming up.
Adam and Adrian are not on this call, but they went to a presentation. It's not in the books yet, but I think it's going to be way above that price. So we'll keep our ears open on that one.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, let's talk about the local market stats for a second. So yeah, last week was quite a bit different. So this week we have 138 new listings in the last 7 days, which is up 58 from last week. Not really surprising, beginning of the year. Pendings 189, which is up 44. We sold 158 in the last 7 days, which is down slightly 12. Again, not really surprising, because if you think of when those sales went into escrow, it was probably like Christmas-ish time. And so a little, I'm sure it was a little shy on the pendings at that time. Temecula Valley active single families. We have a total of 449 homes for sale in the Temecula Valley. And in Temecula only, we have just 82. And that's down from last week, shocking, down by 10. And the least expensive home, which happens to be manufactured this time, is a $499,000. Riverside County has 2,030 homes for sale, and that's up by 49. And we had 37 price changes in the last week, up and down, not just all down. So, all right, so let's talk about some office stuff. First and foremost, I want to remind everybody that it's time to vote for the Agent Spirit Award. I have just a couple of people who voted so far. I have to give it to Diane Ray by noon on Friday. And so to remind you or tell you what that means again, the Branch Agent Spirit Award recognizes an individual in each office as a person who exemplifies the core values of our company on a daily basis. They promote and participate in office meetings, events, and charities while showing outstanding spirit to their fellow agents. This award is voted on by all agents and staff in our offices, in each of our offices. So give me your votes. You could text me, you could tell me, you could email me. Just get it to me before noon on Friday. Cool. All right, so I have a little bit, well, first of all, I'm going to go a little bit out of order of my agenda here, because I know Cecily requested that I talk about what happened at the Lunch and Learn last week. It's kind of a disappointment, but so John Giardinelli is our legal counsel for the whole Association of Realtors, and he moved out of state. So when he comes to town, he does multiple things. And I'm saying this because of what he did. So the day before, he taught an RPA class, and then this day was supposed to be all like legal updates. And the majority of the talk was an RPA. So let me just go over the notes that I felt were important, at least on the RPA. And one thing that I never thought about, and this RPA is still like Some of us haven't even written one yet. I wrote one over the weekend, and shame on me, I missed some boxes. Now, even though I did a practice one, I wrote that the seller was going to pay for all of the escrow fees, not each to pay their own. And I forgot to I was removing appraisal contingency, and I forgot to mark that box because now there's a box. So it's going to take us a little bit of time to get used to this. But on the appraisal situation, on the RPA, there's a place where you can like basically make an appraisal gap where you say it has to appraise at a minimum of this number. Let's just say you're writing the offer at 500,000, and you'll say, okay, it needs to appraise for at least 470,000, and then we're good. We'll basically cover the gap. That's what you're saying. But if the seller counters you with a higher purchase price, you need to revisit that gap situation, because if you only had $30,000 that the buyer was willing to spend, if you will, and then they raise the price 10 more thousand, then you need to raise your gap up a little bit. So keep that in mind. I never had even thought about that, but John brought that up. Let's see, as far as legal issues, whether it be this new RPA or the old RPA, he said the most litigated issue is performance. Like, getting down to the wire and somebody not performing and then canceling and all of that good stuff. So just something to keep in mind. There is, he talked about a case law with regards to, buyers writing multiple offers and this and that. We need to remind our buyers that when they write an offer, they're writing it in good faith, which is why we have a good faith deposit, that they are going to do what they can to move forward. We don't want them to write an offer to tie up the property until the next better property comes along. And what happened with this particular case was it was a very, very expensive multi-million-dollar home. The buyer did just that. They tied up the home, they got it into escrow, they had a $75,000 deposit. And then another home came along that they got acceptance and they backed out. And the agent told them, oh yeah, you're in your contingency period, no big deal. But the sellers took them to court and won because they didn't act in good faith. They never tried to schedule an inspection. They never tried to come back through and do anything. I don't know if they did put their deposit in, but that was it. They never tried to move forward in good faith to do this, move forward. So the seller got to keep their $75,000. So just remind your buyers not to act in good faith. All right. One other thing he talked about as far as the SPQ, as far as when we get this all the time, sellers ask us, how far back do I have to go on disclosure on the SPQ? As long as you've lived there. There's no time limit. So if they have to add additional pages, then they have to add additional pages. Everything that they know needs to be disclosed. It's just in their best interest to do that. And then also on the SPQ, I don't think this makes any difference, but they added vaping as part of the smoking section. I didn't even realize that. So I thought that was interesting. I've talked about this before as far as new laws coming into play. Next year in January, we're going to have a new requirement for trainings, implied bias training. So that will be coming next year. As far as HOAs can now send notices to the owners of the properties, like citations, I guess, via email. They don't have to send it regular mail. And I think that's good, especially for landlords. If you don't know what's happening with your property, the landlord can tell the HOA, here's my email address, send citations straight to me, so I think that's good. Nothing will get lost. There's some new guidelines for emotional support animals that really has to do with property management. Let's see. We talked about how you know, last year was just crazy with our, you know, our core buyers writing so many offers and doing crazy things, escalation clauses, removing appraisal contingencies, removing all contingencies with the offer. 43% of buyers have buyer's remorse after last year. So not really surprising. So let's just make sure that they really want to do what they're doing. He talked about, you know, we do interact with a lot of real estate companies, and sometimes we get forms that we're not familiar with. Let's just talk about Zillow, because I know we have one in our office. Zillow offers or any other company forms, if we're not used to reading those, we should not be interpreting those. Now we can use them, we're allowed to use them, of course, but the buyer really needs to do their due diligence too. We should not try to interpret what we think Zillow means on their contract. So that's pretty self-explanatory. So there's still some there's still, this has been for a couple of years now, I feel like. NAR has a class action lawsuit against them regarding commissions still. You know, the lawyers that are involved on this one is the tobacco lawyers that were able to have a big payday with the tobacco companies. So now they're going after NAR. And it's about commissions, and it's about, you know, both the buyers are upset because they're paying, they feel like they're paying the commissions for everybody because they're the ones buying. And then the sellers are upset because they feel like, why do I have to pay a buyer's agent to, you know, duel against me for a contract? So that's why, that's what the class action lawsuit is all about. It'll probably be years before it gets resolved. But in the end, John thought that maybe compensation will probably change in the next couple of years when that comes to fruition. So, and then that was all he pretty much talked about. He missed a lot of case stuff. So hopefully you guys, he does have a newsletter that comes out, and you can catch it on SRCAR's website and kind of read through it there. He said he would put everything he missed, and he realized it at the end of the meeting that he kind of blew it after 2 hours, and it was a packed house. It was full. So that's that. All right. So I want to talk about, let's go over a couple more forms this week, and then I have a great marketing minute to share with you. I have a couple new tools that we can use. So I'm gonna share my screen to show on request for repairs and seller's response for request for repairs. So let me do this. Share. I have it all queued up. Here.
Okay, requests for repairs. So a lot in here. Most of it is just reminder, right? Credits are cumulative. It's not that the request for repair replaces any credit that was mentioned in the RPA. But what's new? Paragraph 3 is new because we got rid of the FVA form. So lender required, FHA or VA lender required repairs or corrections will now be made directly on the request for repair form. Okay. Notice in paragraph 4, the buyer is telling the seller, if you agree to all of these things, look at the default in 4A. The buyer is saying, by default, I agree to remove my investigation of property contingency. And the default is to remove the entire investigation of property contingency. If the buyer is only willing to remove part of that, the buyer needs to address that in either the exception language by checking the box, right? Writing something in, a text overflow addenda will automatically apply, or the buyer can instead attach a contingency removal form saying, these are the items I am willing to remove. So very important there. Buyer, when you make a request for repair, you are saying you are agreeing, if you don't do anything else, you're agreeing to remove your investigation contingency. New paragraph 5, the request for repair expires, because we don't want somebody coming in at the end of the transaction, going back to an old request for repair and saying, oh yes, I agree to that now. No, 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 it's only good for a certain number of days, just like an offer is only good for a certain number of days. You know, nothing really new here. Seller, you're going to respond. Notice the similar language like we had in the counteroffer. Hey, a previous RR or a previous response and reply, those can no longer be accepted, right? Once you're giving a request for repair, you're saying this essentially is replacing anything that was proposed before it. And then we have the seller response. Now the seller, as we saw on the previous page, the seller could respond to a buyer's request directly on the buyer's request. But maybe the seller has more to say than that. So the seller wants to use a separately identifiable form. That's the RRRR form. Similar language about credits, about, you know, warning there about what happens with FHA and VA transaction. Guess what? That language is in the previous request for repair and the previous RRRR form. And what do we have? We also have a, you know, reference in paragraph 2, seller saying, buyer, here's my response to you. If you agree, by default, you're agreeing to remove your investigation contingency, or we can attach a CR form to that as well. Here's just our last page. Again, not really a whole lot new here. We do have an expiration to this form, which there was no expiration on the previous RRRR form. Okay? But a lot of those notes there in the side column are there just as good reminder, good teaching opportunities of what the form already said. Should I move on, Jenna?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay, that in January.
Shannon, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Muted. There. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So all I said was that the basic new things are just the expiration date for both the buyer's request and also the expiration of the seller's response. And it's good. I think it's a good thing. Hopefully you guys agree so that the seller won't get blindsided at the end of escrow with a buyer saying all of a sudden, yeah, I want you to do those repairs. So that's that. All right, I have a really fun thing to share with you, and you guys maybe already know about it because apparently we got an email and even I missed it. And I try to read all the emails and we get a lot of emails from marketing, but this is, I remember last week I talked about how I wish we had a place where we didn't have to do reviews on Zillow, our testimonials. We do now, and it's on your own website. Yay. Okay, so let me share my screen again, and then I'll show you how you can navigate this. So let me close this window, move my stuff around here. Okay, so I'm going to go into the VAC. Gotta keep. And then I'm also going to go, just to show you first, I'm going to go to my website. So I'm going to share you guys, I'll send out the video that Chris teaches on how to do this because it's like a 10 or 15 minute training on it. But in reality, once I show you, it's like this, it's super quick. So when you're in your website, and I went through the VAC, so I'm in a situation where I can edit my website. you're going to come up to where your name is on the left side, and you're going to go to manage widgets. And at the bottom, there's a widget that's probably turned off for yours right now that says testimonials. Now, before, we were encouraging agents to make a separate page of testimonials, and I made a page and it was a disaster. I mean, it was laughable. It was so bad. So luckily, I'm just dumb enough that I didn't remember to save it and turn it on my webpage. So nobody ever saw it except for me. But anyway, so you're going to turn that widget on, and I'll show you how to like clear everything and save it. So it ends up being at the bottom now of your web page, and you can edit, you know, what this says. Mine says what my clients say, and then it has testimonials. Now, how do we get the testimonials there? There's a couple different ways to get the testimonials there. You can direct your clients to your website and tell them to go to this section, and all they have to do is click this button, and then they can simply put it in here. Or you can highlight that web address, copy and paste it into an email and share it to your clients directly, maybe a text or an email direct to them, and it will land them right on this page. And then the third way, which is the way I did, because all mine are old, is coming into the VAC. Are you guys following online? You can see my VAC. I'm going to assume that's a yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So then you go to the marketing section at the top, and there's a section now called testimonials. And when somebody writes a testimonial about you, you're going to be notified, and it will land in here for you to approve or not. Okay, so nothing bad is going to land on that page without you knowing. So it will land here. Let's just say Paula was the last one to do it, and it will be sitting here with a publish of no until I come in and say yes. Okay. Now, I had all these testimonials on realtor.com and Real Satisfied and things like that. So I copy and pasted by clicking on the new button. I put their name in here, I pasted their comment and the date that they wrote it. And then I hit publish, and it landed in 1 second on my website. Awesome.
You can go back to Zillow and all of
Yes.
grab them all.
Yes, grab them all.
Question.
Yep.
Do you need their permission to do that, to repost it?
They already gave their permission by posting it one time, so I don't feel like you need it again. Because
Okay.
wherever they have it posted, if it's on Zillow or realtor.com, it's out in the world already. So I don't feel like you have to ask again. It's only the first initial time. Any questions? Okay, so then the other thing that our web design company rolled out, and you probably see it, is this new professional services button up here at the top. So although Chris and our education department shares how to do everything to modify your website and do certain things, sometimes agents just don't have the time or the want to do it themselves. Okay, so now IDC is the company who makes our VAC, and they have a way for you to purchase certain features to be done by them. So if by chance you want your website redesigned, you can have a consultation with them and they will redesign it for you for $140. So there's like 6 or 8 things on here that they will do for you. They'll import your contacts. They'll blast out a property listing or sold to your contacts. They'll make a property blast or a flyer for you. So all of these things they will do for you for a fee. And again, you can do them all yourself for free if you have the want to learn how to do it. But if you don't, just click on the button and then they'll do it for you. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. And some of the website, the one thing I will say about the website, and I didn't realize this, once we changed over to Home Services of America, so you'll see there's this SSL certificate, which I don't know what that means, honestly, except for it's a security layer on your website, I guess. They had to do these security sites for a number of, at least the management team. So if you want that on your website, they can do it for you for $35. Again, I don't know exactly what it means. Google it. But they made it sound like it was really super important when they were telling us managers about it. So take a look at that. How's that sound? It is cool. All right. So I was going to get into the marketing updates for December, but I think I'm going to jump into that next week when we have the end of year stats for the agents in our office. They don't put those out till the 15th for us. So then I'll have our top production winners and stuff. So I'm going to end the meeting before we get to Joker Jackpot with, and I didn't set it up, but I'm going to do it right now, real quick. Did you guys watch Mark's Facebook yesterday? It was actually really good. So I'm going to share it real quick. This is my super duper. You guys have this setting on your Facebook where you have to enter the code. This is how nobody ever steals my identity. It's just, you have to log into your.
So now we know your code.
No, it resets every 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds
okay,
it goes a reset. So.
Oh, so you can put that on the Facebook?
Yeah.
Is that new?
No, it's not new. I've had it for probably at least a year. Yeah. Because all my friends were getting broken into and I was getting new friend requests all the
I
time.
know.
So it was dumb. All right, let's watch. I'm sure it's this one. Short one. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't think you guys can hear it out there. Yes, you can.
Hello, everyone. Once again, I am back. My name is Mark Stark. I am the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services that operates in California, Arizona, and Nevada. And I am here every Tuesday, 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. And here we are, my first episode in 2022. Woo! All right. Well, you know, I have to, and I like doing this each year, that when we start the new year, specifically right when we start the new year, sometimes we talk about these things prior, which is really important, but during the holidays, maybe people aren't really adjusting as quickly as they can. So I want to share just some simple do's and don'ts to make sure your 2022 starts off rocking and with a bang. All right, let's jump right in. Here's a don't that I want to start off with. And this don't, I see people get caught up into it. It can happen all the way through the year. And that is hyper focusing on changes or adjustments in the marketplace or aspect that affects the marketplace. And let me give you a scenario that I want you to think about. I want you to think about how many actual unit sides, buyer sides, selling sides, that you closed in 21. And, or I want you to think about what you want to close in 2022. Either number is fine. All right, you got that number in your head? All right, great. Let me tell you this, that no matter what your number is, there is nothing that can happen to your marketplace that you still can't overwhelmingly achieve the number that you have in your mind right now. See, you know, if you were doing, 30,000 sides in your marketplace, then you can ultimately be affected by the market. I mean, you're doing enough market share that certainly a change in the market can affect you. But I don't think we have anyone doing 30,000 sides. So what you're focusing on is something that ultimately all it's doing is pulling you away from focusing on your goals. And that's the do. All right. What you really need to do, the solution is, put those blinders on and get hyper focused on your personal goal of what you want to achieve in 2022. And do not let the noise and do not let market changes change that, because guess what? The only place it's affecting you is here, not ultimately in the marketplace to achieve your goal. All right, now, I don't think it would be proper without me mentioning a DRC. If you don't have a daily revenue commitment starting the new year, shame on you. All right, I mean that with love, but the reality of it is you got to have a daily revenue commitment. I've said this numerous times. I don't believe in an annual business plan. I believe in a daily plan. And this daily plan, you can take it down to not having to worry about, in today's example, Monday. You don't have to worry about Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. That's all we have to worry about. And you focus on, what do I need to complete Tuesday? You can get your arms around that. You can get your head around that. You can get your mind around that. So keep that in mind. A DRC is key. Couple rules on DRC is don't overwhelm yourself, so don't overdo it, but you have to be consistent. All right? So right there, you're not hyper-focusing on the market. You are hyper-focusing on your goals, and now you've got your DRC that supports the goals that you're trying to create. Now, next thought process. If you're going to have a DRC, what is your DRC going to be hooked to? Well, you have to have clarity on what you want to accomplish. Now, keep this in mind. It's not only business. All right, so you're hyper-focusing on your overall business of what you're trying to achieve. But guess what? When it comes to clarity, you have personal goals. All right, you have maybe investment goals. Whatever it is, get clarity around everything you're trying to accomplish in the year. The more you think about it, the more it's in front of your face, the more it's on your vision board, the more you talk about it, I will tell you, it stays with you. And guess what? It's simple. You're not having the noise bother you. You continue bringing up the things that are so important to you, be it personal, be it investment, be it your business. You just keep reiterating that same thing. You know, they say, what doesn't get old gets stale. Well, the reality of it is this is okay. Your goals and you repeating it over and over and over again is a good thing, not a negative thing. But remember, all right, remember, if it's not clear in your mind, it's not clear in anyone's mind for you to achieve it. One other tip as it comes to your business, please, units come first. I love big sales. I love big volume. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services supports, the luxury business. I get it. We kill it. Here's the key. Just because you're focused on doing higher sales should not be the reason you don't focus on doing the numbers of units that you want to achieve. Look, simple math. You do more units in higher prices, whatever that price range is for you specifically, and you do more income, you do more business overall. But don't trade volume, for units. Units are most important. And then, of course, you want to focus on higher volume of that business. That's a great plan for 2022. Support that. I just don't want it to be a trade-off. Now, this is something that I want you to be aware of, and I think it's happening more than ever. Your database, your clients are in play right now, and they're at risk. And the only way that you can keep them solidified is if you have a plan, which again ties right into your DRC, of communicating to them. I know you've probably said to yourself numerous times, I really should communicate with the people I know, past clients, more than I do. Guess what? No more talking about it. 2022 is your year to get focused on communicating with the people who already know, love you, and respect you. But if you're not calling them, they're at risk. Remember, as much as they love and respect you, they love and respect themselves more. So you need to respect that relationship. And remember, they're people first. Just communicate with them. Reach out to them and have a nice conversation. Business will come up. It'll pull itself back in. But know this, between technology, between competition, between new models, whatever it is, there's realtors out there in the marketplace that are looking to talk to your people. All right? You can't stop them from talking to your people, but you certainly can start, you personally, talking to them more often and letting them know if they need any help in the real estate industry, you're their person. You know what? And what makes it so easy is once you start the conversation, real estate comes up naturally. You don't have to call with this idea of real estate. Just call with the idea of touching base. No matter how long it's been since you've touched base with them, I promise you, they will be thrilled to hear from you. All right? Break that relationship back into stride, or place that relationship back into stride by just having that one communication, and then don't fall back again. Build that relationship stronger over time. All right? And last but certainly not least today is, if you're going to have a phenomenal kick butt year in 2022, you got to get your daily routine down. You know, a daily routine is so powerful. It sets the stage for everything we do. And again, it's not just about business daily routine. It's about your daily routine, which can start off with when you get up. You know what? Do you walk the dog? Do you do your workout? Do you have breakfast? Whatever your thing is, your daily routine is really important. And when you have a daily routine that you can depend on, I promise you, you're able to fit the most important things into your world, into your life, and that's what helps keep you consistent and moving forward. We are going to have a very vibrant market in 2022. Doesn't mean it won't have its bumps. It doesn't mean it won't have its challenges, and certainly doesn't mean it won't have its surprises. Not the point. If you truly stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish for your life and your business, regardless of what happens around you, you will have a very, very, very great chance of achieving your goals. Hope this was helpful. Of course, if you liked it, please share it. If you're not,
all right, I thought that was great motivation for our new year. I really love the fact that he talked about units, because we've been talking one-on-one with each of you about your goals for 2022, and I've had various responses, units versus volume versus, net proceeds in your pocket. But it is true. The market goes up and down, and last year we had 20% appreciation on homes, so we could do a little bit less units and make the same amount of money. But in reality, that's not always the case, and then we kind of get a little bit lazy because we know, hey, I just need to sell 5 instead of 8 to get the same amount of money in my pocket. So I love that thought. And I have my daily revenue commitment that I set as well. Mark helps us management team set some of our commitments. Obviously, I have my personal ones, and you all know I walk my dog every single day, 2 miles every day. But besides that, I have a commitment to call 2 agents for recruiting. That's my end result, is recruiting. And I have a commitment to coach 2 agents for retention and helping you guys every single day. And 2 doesn't seem like a lot, but some days it is a lot. It's hard. It's hard. So I understand. So I love the fact that he said, make it attainable and doable. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just make it small, little, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. Just make it small bites so that you can achieve it every day on your daily DRC, daily revenue commitment. All right. Anybody have any announcements that they want to share with the team? I know we had the message about Matterport. Anybody else have wants or needs that they could ask the group?
I have a client that's looking for a house in the 600,000 range, of course, the ones that fly.
Mhm.
No square footage, but in the Temecula Common, our side of Temecula, and that's about it. Just any house in the 600 range that you guys hear about that's coming soon or about to hit the market, let me know.
Is it an investment, or is that why it doesn't matter?
They're moving here from,
Okay.
I think either San Diego or Corona, one or the other. But yeah, they want to live in like the nicer part of Temecula, like, our area. For those of us that, where the office is, like South Temecula.
Yeah.
So, and they don't specify like pool or bedrooms or anything, just anything in the 600 range.
All right. If we have any listings coming up, we'll try to pitch it. Well, we always pitch them usually before we get them. So this is why we have our meetings, so we can try to get them out there. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else? All right, so let's do our Joker jackpot. Shauna says we're up to $150 now. 155 now. So let me change my camera. So go. Sorry, let me do this. Who is going to draw the name?
It is Sue.
Sue. I think I saw Sue online.
I am.
Yay. Okay, who do you want to draw your card?
Wait, tell her who's here.
Donna's good.
Donna.
Me.
Draw her card. Draw her a joker.
Yes.
No.
All right. Thank you.
All right, so a couple of announcements too. Monday is a new staff holiday for Shauna and I, so the office will be closed. So if you come in on Monday, make sure that you bring your key. You can certainly do floor time if you want to, just, you'll have to answer the phones. Also, our regional office meeting with Rick Barabee will be on the 26th. It's going to be at the association office. Breakfast will be provided, so mark your calendar for that. I mentioned last week about the breakfast with the city managers. That's next month at South Coast. They're promoting it really heavy at the association office. So RSVP, it's $25 with the association. Usually comes with a lunch, I believe. And of course, you get to hear from all our city managers, and that's great. And our regional award winner awards on March 1st at the Richard Nixon Library. We will all caravan up there, have a great breakfast. Everybody will be honored that won awards, and we'll hear some new exciting things coming for you guys. I know of one of them. It's supposed to maybe be rolled out the end of February, but it's definitely going to help you with marketing. Make it so much easier on you to do some marketing straight from your cell phone. That's all I can say. And so come to that, and we'll be doing an RSVP list for that. I'm sure come next month we'll have that. And of course, Super Bowl's happening soon. So I will be getting out the pool. Anybody wants to gamble some more, we'll do $5 squares. So we'll have $500 worth of winnings to go amongst us. So that, hopefully I didn't forget anything. I didn't. Okay, so that's that, you guys. Thanks so much for coming. I appreciate you all coming even online, because I know it's kind of funky with COVID right now. Everybody's kind of getting it. I think we're all going to have it like in the next probably month or so. We'll all be, and then herd immunity will have magically happened. So anyway, stay safe out there, and I'm here all week. If you need me, just call, text, or email me. Have a good day.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.